Hello, my name is Megan Coca. I am the Director of Development and Community Outreach here at the Tarrant County Black Historical and Genealogical Society. Today we are in the Lenora Rolla Heritage Center Museum. I've been here with the organization for 3 years now, and I'm inspired by Miss Rolla's efforts. I hope to see this museum grow in ways that it has never grown before. We have great collections, great history, and an amazing network that needs to be shared with the rest of the community. So there is a narrative that will follow us through each gallery space. And in our first space, we are mostly highlighting African culture. We have to talk about the transatlantic. You see depictions of a ship. The ship was found wrecked near the Florida Keys. And on this depiction, you see how they imported those who were enslaved, as well as some of the items that were found around and near the shipwreck, which are on these panels. So most of our collection here at the Lenora Rolla Heritage Center Museum lies in post-emancipation Tarrant County, or 1865, and here in Texas we celebrate that on Juneteenth, June 19th. But in this space, this is our Freedom Gallery, and we have 2 of the first freedom settlements here in Tarrant County. We talk about the people that are from them and some of the accomplishments they made. In this space, we highlight Miss Lenora Rolla. There are many items here where you can see the beginning stages of our organization and this wonderful museum. She started her journey here with the museum in 1977 with 21 charter members. She started at the Fort Worth Science and History Museum as a docent and was trying to conduct genealogical research on herself and others from the community, and realized that there were no archives for the Black community in Tarrant County. She started this organization. It has had many shapes and forms throughout the years. And today we are in the Boone House, and it is our museum where we have exhibitions. Here in our third gallery space, you see some of the items that Ms. Rolla began collecting, including the collection from Dr. Riley Ransom, the first African-American surgeon here in Tarrant County. He's known for establishing 2 hospitals in Fort Worth and 1 in Gainesville, Texas. The last one being the Ethel Ransom Memorial Hospital here in Fort Worth, which was a 12-bedroom hospital. Before the establishment of Dr. Ransom's hospitals, the African-American community was only served in the St. Joseph Hospital in the basement of the hospital. It's one of many collections of physicians from the community that Ms. Rolla preserved, including the Brooks family, which is a well-known family of physicians. This house is named after Reverend Boone, who was a reverend at Mount Gilead Baptist Church in downtown Fort Worth. And it was chosen as the site for this museum because it had historic connections to the community. For a long period of time, this space was mostly used for storage at one point. Now we have volunteer archivist, Ms. Carol Rourke, our executive director, and I, who choose which collections come in currently. Anything that relates to Tarrant County Black history is useful for us. Locations, specific people, community leaders, and so on and so forth. So here we have William Madison McDonald, who was associated with the Prince Hall Freemasons, or the Texas Masonic Lodge. He was the first African-American millionaire in Tarrant County, and he lived right in this community. We have images of his home. His home was a 12-bedroom home that was designed after the plantation owner who owned his parents. He started the Fraternal Bank in downtown Fort Worth that was located on 9th and Jones Street. The second floor was filled with doctor's offices, barbershop, and segregated spaces for the Black community. It was very much the Black business district of Fort Worth. He also owned and operated a hotel in downtown Fort Worth that was featured in the Green Book, the Traveler's Guide for the Black community. This hotel was called the Gym Hotel, and on the basement floor of this hotel was a jazz club as well. This museum has had many collections throughout the years. We have a volunteer archivist now that helps organize everything that we currently have, give it a name and a title, and put it in a box safely. We also are currently bringing in new collections, anything that relates to Tarrant County Black history, some historic locations, community activists, and we also have an internship program with TCU where we bring in a student who helps with our archives, digitizing and collecting. So this organization wouldn't be around if people from the community hadn't donated items that were relevant to telling the story of Black Tarrant County or the African American community. And we're thankful to have some items like images from Calvin Littlejohn, who was a prominent photographer in Tarrant County. He photographed a little bit of everything, from Martin Luther King Jr. to famous musicians, community events, football games. We also have many people from the community come in and say he was the photographer at their wedding. We have a small collection of cameras from him and images as well. We have owned this building since the 1980s. And like I mentioned before, it has had many shapes and forms. It was once a boarding school or a boarding house, the Hattie Street Haven that Ms. Rolla started. And it later turned into where we housed our collection. And in about 2011, this space became the museum as it is today, with exhibition space and donated items from Fort Worth Science and History Museum, Kimball Art Museum, and the Amon Carter, who have donated our cases and things of that nature. And today we are still hosting regular exhibitions and events here. There are many ways to support us. We are always looking for membership. If you could become a member, whether you're an organization or a family membership, our summer arts program in June in partnership with the Amon Carter, or donations as well. We accept donations. Let people know that there is a museum here that houses the history of Black Tarrant County. We are avidly hosting events and fun things for everyone in the community, so just stay involved.